What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. I'm KIDDKARIZMA. Welcome to the channel. We're on the border of Georgia and Florida, heading into Jacksonville. Welcome to the show. Policeman in the truck had on his corner is having a nice wild argument with someone on the other end of the radio. No, he keeps saying. No way. You're listening in as the man on the radio finishes a wild story about the Thunderbird swooping and darting around high places. I swear this has happened. The cop over the radio insists. That's when it clicks. You know this story. It's a stranger version of the story of the Thunderbird people who flew when they fell from heights, but when some bits left out or replaced. Ain't true. The cop in the truck sighs. Only he knew. Only he knew. His X should be a search. The smell of campfire before you see it. A young man turns his roast bird on a makeshift spit. Wandering, he asks. So am I. Stay a while. Folks like us gotta share when times are good, right? We share his lunch. Fresh cooked fowl. Caught only hours ago. I don't want to go there. I want to go into Jacksonville.
A family of 9 invites you into their home for a meal. Hogs roam free in the yard. They wallow in shady patches of cool mud, not paying any mind as you pass.
So I'm gonna stop and eat with
During
your family.
supper, the hard wind puts an awful burden on the walls. The glass dishes rumble on the table, but the mother seems calm.
Can't butcher a hog in these parts without me, Ma, hollering for pig's feet.
Could we
The
share?
mother's heavy sigh gives you the impression her children ask this often.
Me, Ma, wants more pig's feet. Heaven can provide.
Oh man, another ghost story. I would like to find something happy. After gossiping for a while about the weather and the crops and the state of the world, all bad and getting worse, he takes a different tack. He looked like someone who knows a good story. He wheezes. Try this one on for size. After loudly repeatedly clearing his throat, he tells you the story of a vulgar ghost trapped in a bottle. It sounds a lot like the story of the tree with bottles on its branches, though some parts changed and others parts added. He grins up at you at the conclusion of the tale. You give him the effusive praise he apparently is expecting. You have to remember that version, even if it's not quite what happened. It is a good story. Let's head south over here. I'm gonna go ahead and go into Tallahassee. There's nothing here, basically. Little town. The bar is crowded with people of all walks in life. Yep. He launched into a wild story. Sun was blotted out for 2 days by a giant rooster. Halfway through, he stops, recognizing your look. You know this one. Tells a story that clips on the farm. That's it. I think I like mine more. Get another round. We'll do a competitive contest. By the end of the night, the whole bar agrees his version's better. So instead of just an eclipse now, and that chick's eyes bleeding, it's a giant rooster. Alright.
We need a 6th.
She told you, beckoning from the steps of a great dark mansion.
I've been doing a seance.
And just like that, you found yourself sitting with strangers around a velvet-draped table. Her voice is reedy and high, modulated by the tight collar of her Victorian dress.
Join hands, everyone.
Your host keeps her eyes closed as she beseeches the spirits of the dead.
Beseeches.
But everyone else around the table lets one lingering, awkward glance bounce around between them. You sense they're just about done humoring her when it happens. A deep, nasty thump beneath the table. The whole table starts to shake, threatening to lift right off the ground. And then, the stained candle flames start flickering like mad, casting ghastly shadows on the walls. And then, a viciously cold wind cuts through the parlor like sharpened ice.
Never break the circle.
The damned candles are dancing in midair around you now, singeing a hair here and there off the coiffed heads of these well-heeled guests. You notice your host across the table has her eyes open wider than they should go. A rivulet of blood dripping from her nose.
Keep holding on.
When you come to your senses, sunrise has begun to creep in. The parlor is empty but for you and the woman in the old-fashioned dress, who slumped dejectedly over the table.
He didn't show up. All that sound and fury, and no sign of his spirit.
Oh, some crazy shit happened though. Go over here and check out the bayou. We're hiring pickers, the farmer hand says. Today only he drives you over. 30 or 40 people are already making their slow way across an impossibly vast field that touches the hazy horizon. Backbreaking work, but the folks are friendly and the pay is okay. I could use some money.
Electric lamps stipple the cotton field before you with an orange light, moving like a group of lethargic fireflies. From the field, the voices of the workers reach you in a soulful, united song. You're gently lulled to sleep as the song floats over you. Hello, Lordy, pick a bale of cotton. Hello, Lordy, pick a bale a day. You're pulled out of your slumber by a woman's pained scream and a collection of shouts rising from the field. The woman's screams taper off, soon replaced by the raw cries of an infant. Applause briefly fills the night, eventually fading back into song. You wake up to the gentle crescendo of the worker's song, unsure if it ever ceased at all.
Head back over here. I don't wonder what's going on here.
You emerge from the underbrush and find yourself at the edge of a field. A farmhouse sits at the other end. Close by, a large family is tending to the plants together. They pause and regard you, almost nervously.
Hello there?
The grandmother asks.
Hello.
The family is almost too nice to you. When you ask for water, they don't even let you walk to the pump by the house. A child runs back to the shed for a folding chair, and they serve you lemonade in a glass among the lettuce heads.
Nice.
Halfway through your glass, you notice someone moving furtively down by the house. The cuffs of his white shirt are stained red. The father sees your look and shifts to block your view. His eyes are bright, and his teeth are bared in something like worry.
How do you like your lemonade?
It's good.
His wife arrives with a bag full of sandwiches for you, and the whole family ushers you back into the woods.
What the hell was going on there?
Waving, wishing you well.
The werewolf.
You take one look back over your shoulder. The man by the wall is gone.
Yeah, what the hell? So, keep going south then. We're still in Florida. There's St. Petersburg, Florida. This man reads a newspaper with a barely contained horror, his grimace spreading wider and wider as he makes his way down the page. Suddenly his frown cracks into something with a little bit more amazement in it. Whoa, he says. He reads out a story about 8 identical men born to 8 different mothers who each mistook each other for his brother. You're shocked. The story of the 4 identical men born to 2 different mothers who confuse themselves, but some of the bits are changed. Nah, it's all made up. Yeah, no, we're sticking with the 2 brothers who weren't brothers.
His smile lights up the room, or rather the cab of the locomotive. Folks gather round as he holds the pull cord. He's a showman through and through.
You'll want to cover your ears now for this next part.
Sure doesn't help much. The engineer pulls that chain and the whistle blasts inside your skull. He just smiles through it all. Man must be half deaf. A round of applause erupts from the small crowd. He passes out bubble gum to the shell-shocked kids, half of them in awe, half in tears.
Get shot.
Remember now who gets you there on the advertised. Casey Jones.
Everyone's all talk as they head back to their seats. That engineer sure is handsome. Gosh, and that whistle sounded just like a whippoorwill, didn't it? Ain't this the way to travel?
The trains are dope. Let's head to the keys.
I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground.
Looks like there's a guy over there to talk to too. Oh, there's Miami. Big ass fort. Yeah, I wonder who that dude is.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon.
This should be a story. That should be a.
No fence, gate, or sign marks the entrance to the cemetery. Just a moment ago, you weren't surrounded by graves.
Now you are.
And now you are. How long have you been stepping on dead folks, fully unaware?
Observe a grave.
A wood board, bleached white.
Unknown.
Unknown. The word was painted on black by a steady hand, each letter signed with a flourish. Whoever made this memorial had more compassion than money. You're already quiet, so maybe it's silly. But you instill that silence with intent. What else could someone do?
Be still.
A sparrow calls. Seems birds don't have much respect for the dead. You notice the grave marker isn't dug into the ground, just propped up on a tree.
Straighten it.
Looks nicer now, but unmoored as these markers are. This grave, in front of this tree. Does this memorial even belong to it?
I don't know. They've just been sitting there.
Night come down for to take me hand in hand. This will be my.
You wait in a soup line for over an hour. It's barely crawling along. You round the corner of the building and see far away a lone pair of nurses struggling to ladle soup out to hundreds. Gonna be waiting here a while longer, sighs the mother in the line beside you. You get her talking. After a while, the topic drifts into a strange place and she starts telling you about Johnny Appleseed, who roamed the country planting trees beneath his feet. You recognize the story of the orchard planter who planted 10,000 trees, but way more outrageous than your version. You tell her your version. That's not exciting, she says diplomatically. I mean, it sure sounds realer than what I heard, but I think Toby likes mine best. She bounces her child encouragingly on her hips, but Toby's too hungry to smile. Look at him. Look, pissed. Look, Toby. What's up with Miami? Seagulls scream overhead as you mosey down the beach. Out at sea, ships crawl along the horizon towards the harbor. The sun's a little intense, so you search for a scrap of shade.
You've enjoyed a break on the beach, staring off the edge of the world. But the sun is starting to go down, and the breeze is getting stronger. As you're about to stand, a man plonks down near you. He sits a polite distance off, but looks at you expectantly.
Oh, it's a sad story, both of them. Greet them.
He smiles weakly. I just got fired. First Spanish-American radio host in the state, and they fired me. They needed to make cuts, I get that, but I'm twice the... He trails off. I don't know what I'm going to tell my wife. I could try the docks, but there's already more men than jobs, and I could barely support the family on what they pay. He hangs his head. And my boy, I can't bring myself to tell them. I don't know what to do.
It's gonna be alright.
He calms as the sun drops below the horizon. An expanse of darkness is ahead of you. Turning back to the lights of the city reminds you that the world hasn't gone away. After a long silence, he speaks. It's never going to get better, is it? It takes you a moment to notice his sobbing over the noise of the waves. I've got to tell them, haven't I? I'll go to the port in the morning and see if they'll take me. You can no longer make him out in the dark, but his hand touches your shoulder as he leaves.
You wander the streets of the city looking for a way to make cash, always. Mom says she's gonna come out and kick your ass. Alright, I'm leaving. Says towering woman watching you from the door, her arms crossed like a pair of cross seals. Wow. What do you got for... Ooh, a mojito. Oh, I don't even know what I want. What's food for? I don't know. I will pound a mojito. Who we got here? Dupree?
You look good, honey. You got a life? You like a good story?
Yeah.
I like to hear about people and make bets with them.
What kind of bets?
I like to hear about the weird, handsome people. Get convinced by the rich jackasses who'll play blackjack and lose into the night. Dames who are lit cigarettes burning to the end.
Basically me.
I want to be around furious people who use me and I use them. Are you one, stranger? Come close to me. Hey, got any
Yeah, legendary bootleggers.
Well, well, they should let you make the movies, honey.
Oh, they do.
The law? I can get by with the law. The law thinks I'm a victim, a sad girl of the streets, a damaged girl, a girl who ain't got no fate and whose daddy didn't love her. My daddy's dead, and all cops are in my pocket, stranger. I will tell you that if I tell you anything. The law is bad for us Roman kids. It does not serve us. But you learn to get that sad, pale girl on. They love that. Sometimes you gotta promise them something more and... Well, I don't say it's pleasant, but you born in a body. Sometimes people treat you like you need the power taken from it. Hey, got any
Exciting stories like movies. Massive thunderstorm. That exciting?
Honey, thrills is the stuff I live on. That one will keep me going. A long time ago, I left that little hole I grew up in and started to make my home wherever I was. I don't regret it. I took a pack of cards and hopped on a cargo train. And when it stopped by someone interesting, I'd let them take me to where the law can't see. And you know what's home in this here country? People. No one loves harder and tries harder than these countrymen. And at night when the grasshopper's squeaking, I think they singing something patriotic about trying luck and failing and trying again. Got any stories with ghosts or murderers or blood or something like that?
You want something violent? Killer pigeons. That better be freaking what you want. Yep.
Just what I asked for.
Nailed it.
That spooky stuff gets my heart going like a good hand sometimes do.
Oh, it does say that. I thought she was bringing that shit out.
Sometimes, you know, I think, what would it take to make you stop, Ms. Dupree?
I don't know. What would it take?
Maybe it's love that would make me stop roaming and stop betting.
I don't know. It seems like you're getting pretty wild.
And I think sometimes boys are like gambling, ain't they? You put all your concentration on them, you grift them, you follow them, you wait for them to pay off. But sometimes you just get shot in the stomach. And you wake up in that hospital and think, I ain't for love, Joe, I ain't for it. I can't be cared for, I can't afford it, no sir. Got any stories with ghosts or murderers or blood?
Okay. The white deer near Richmond. That was a ghost deer and Eric got killed.
Sounds like you're trying to sell me something with a sad tale.
Wasn't even that
If you want to do... 16 days ago, I come across a girl by the side of the road. She had her smoke all bent out of shape in her mouth, and she had a bundle like I used to by her little brown boots. She caught my eye just for a little second. And though I ain't got no feeling from her, I smiled to myself because you bet a lot on leaving the protection of the known, especially when your body our shape. But choosing your challenges, that's freedom. And she knew it, I think. Hey, got any exciting...
Exciting. About the seance. Nope. She didn't even say nothing.
I won big back in Reno and I got obsessed with luck.
Reno's pretty far
I was
away.
drinking absinthe at the time and smoking only darn European cigarettes that made me cough like a mule, and boy... After that win, I drank the green fairy good and smoked like a redwood bonfire. And you know what I learned? I learned to pick my tables and expect music on the jaw. Shit. Next time, let's up the stakes, shall we?
Yeah.
Why don't we spend some time with bourbon and
Yeah,
5-card
Lord.
stud? You bring the bourbon, of course. And when the moon's fuller, I might let you in on some secrets on life. Have you any?
Yeah, I've got a few. Well, that was Dupree. Oh, there's a story. Man can barely wait to get to the pleasantries. I heard it from a nephew who's happened to hear it from someone he knows. Polished, obviously told many times before, whippoorwill watching for death. You recognize the bones. It's a drunken lineman. Thank the man and move onwards. You have to remember the version of it. Still a good story. Alright, can I go back in Miami and do another story? Nope. Alright, so we're gonna head north out of Florida and probably go up there and talk to Dupree again.
A sign in town says a farmer is hiring for the sugarcane harvest. A bag-eyed man drives you and 10 hungry strangers out into the cane, where he leaves you. Everyone gets a hatchet, but no instruction. The foreman is missing for some reason. Nobody is sure what to do. A young man in a red jacket stuffs all the hatchets in his pack. "This is stupid," he says. "I'm leaving. You can get $5 for a nice axe like this." He marches off into the cane and others follow. "Don't!" a young woman shouts after them. "It's not right."
You're right.
The thief left some hatchets behind, so you and the 3 chumps left start chopping cane. It's brutal work. None of you know what you're doing. "Keep going," the girl calls. Her hands are bleeding, and her face is bright with sweat. Soon, her cane is piled high. Sometime after noon, the truck rolls up with a boozy foreman riding shotgun. "Good work," he croaks. The girl wipes her blood-pinked hands on her apron to take her pay, but doesn't notice the crumpled body in the back of the truck, or the hatchets heaped beside it.
Damn. They went and murdered those people for taking his hatchets. Yeah, we're gonna head north out of Florida and see what we can get into next time. And that's gonna do it for this episode. If you enjoyed it like I did, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of what awesomeness I'm getting into. And make sure to drop a like on what you like so I can give the people what they want. And try these tasty nuggies off to the side. Damn it, Bane, get out of here. Peace, y'all.